Andrew Ray, 22.
Jack Tilley, 19.
Joseph Lee, 25.
Piper Haynes, 21.
Nick Yancey, 20.
In the modern age of global mass industrialization, the market for everyday consumers like us has never been bigger. When you walk into a grocery store, it is almost overwhelming to see the abundance of products you have at your disposal. Having the freedom of choice is a great thing, but there is an underlying problem that most people fail to consider. With an endless inventory of consumer products means there is a potential for an equal amount of product waste. Think about the number of water bottles, food wrappers, shampoo bottles, and other artificial packaging you've thrown away over the years. It's probably a decent amount. These types of packaging are used once and then disposed, but will remain in landfills for thousands of years. Today, my goal is to persuade you all into becoming avid recyclers, as recycling produces not just environmental benefits, but economic benefits as well. Back when I worked in a fast food restaurant, one thing I noticed when I first started out was how often we threw out the trash. On an average day, we would throw around 3 or 4 bags of trash. These bags could fit at least 50 gallons, meaning that this one restaurant produces over 150 gallons of trash per day. If you apply that estimation to every restaurant in America and add it all together, the number would be astounding. And the worst part is, that number is certainly an underestimation. This is a fact that should be alarming when it comes to the future of our planet. Personally, I believe people don't take the time to recycle because they do not see any noticeable effects in doing so. In order to convince you to recycle more, I'm going to educate you all on the positive things that comes from it. The first point I will be discussing will be how recycling provides environmental benefits that affect health. Secondly, I will be discussing the monetary benefits and how recycling is good for the economy. Let's start off with a formal definition of recycling. Stacy Vine, author of the 2011 article Green Energy, an A to Z guide article titled Recycling, defines it as taking a product that is no longer useful or wanted and remanufacturing it into another product that can be used instead of sending it to the landfill. The most common recycled materials include glass, plastic, steel, and paper. Recycling can be as easy as taking a used item and using it for something other than its original purpose. For example, it can be easy as taking an empty cereal box and using it for, let's say, a magazine holder. Recycling serves many purposes for the environment. According to the 2009 article, Recycling, from the book Environmental Science in Context, editors Brenda and Lee Lerner point out that, quote, recycling reduces the extraction and manufacture of fresh materials by mining, drilling, and logging, which reduces harm to the environment. In addition, creating products from fresh, raw materials uses up more energy than creating products from recycled material. Now let's look at ways recycling can affect your personal health. Bernard Goldstein, author of the 2002 article Pollution from the Encyclopedia of Public Health, provides an understanding of the effects of pollution. Recycling reduces the amount of trash residing in our landfills that release harmful pollution back into the environment. These toxins often make their way into water wells and into fruits and vegetables of home gardens. Even though they are small amounts of toxins, there is much speculation over the long-term effects of this exposure. Goldstein also provides an example of how pollution has directly affected humans at the highest level. A single power plant in Japan was responsible for contaminating the fish bay of the Minamata Bay with mercury, leaving hundreds dead and thousands hospitalized to what is known today as the Minamata disease. Fortunately enough, this rarely happens, but incidents like this are proof of how dangerous careless waste disposal can be. So now that we've covered the environment, let's move on to the monetary value of recycling. If you're still not convinced to recycle after hearing the environmental benefits, the financial benefits of recycling will surely change that. Alex Schenker, author of the article Why is Recycling So Important?, advocates for recycling as a way to create jobs. There's a large amount of physical labor required in order to keep recycling plants active and up to standards. Recycling creates jobs that help ensure the well-being of the employee, but also their families, and especially their children. In addition to jobs, Brenda and Lee Lerner also state that certain landfills with large amounts of waste become increasingly more expensive to operate and maintain. The reduced amounts of trash that come from recycling save cities money. Those are ways recycling helps the economy as a whole. Now, here are some ways that not recycling hurts your bank account. Schenker brings up a good point by reminding us that we ourselves pay for the trash that resides in our landfills. Local governments tax landfill sites, and there are often fines implemented for exceeding the amount of waste produced in a certain period of time. Recycling also reduces these costs and eliminates the possibility of being fined. Tom Zeller Jr., author of the 2011 article, Recycling Makes Sense, brings up an important point with costs associated to recycling. Recycling is a business, and businesses need money to operate. A lot of times, gas-guzzling trucks that carry these recycled materials may only carry a small amount, an insufficient amount of products. In cases like this, recycling companies do not turn profit. Not to mention, these trucks produce pollution themselves, further damaging the environment. This is an issue that only the people can solve, simply by recycling your waste more. Paul Goodman, author of 10 Reasons Why You Should Recycle Your Waste, brings up an overlooked yet simple point. Recycling in itself is free. The only thing recycling costs is a little bit of time and effort in sorting out your trash. If everyone in the world took the time to recycle, who knows where we would be right now? A cleaner planet makes for a happier and healthier population. In this day and age of industrialization, we are producing more pollution than ever before. The world is a big place supporting a lot of people. Most people know that they ought to recycle, but do not feel it's worth the effort. In a world with over 7 billion people, it is easy to assume that the actions of one person do not make a difference. This is a mentality that too many people carry, and in my opinion, is destructive. If everyone who has this mindset were to reverse it and accept that a single person's actions do matter, the world would become a better place in no time. And to conclude this discussion, I will leave you with one last piece of advice. Reduce, reuse, and recycle.